Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
If someone followed you around for a day, would they see somebody surviving? Or would they see somebody living with purpose? Because purpose isn't just about what you say, it's showing up how you decide, and what you choose, and in who you're becoming. Recovery changes habits. Faith changes identity. And identity changes everything. I am Brock, and this is Living with Purpose. Welcome back to Living with Purpose. This is episode 3. Now, coming out of episode 2, I talked about the moment that everything changed. Recovery started, and for the first time in a long time, I really felt hope. But what I didn't realize at the time was recovery didn't mean that life was about to get easier. Very shortly after my aunt passed away, we found out that we were pregnant again. And out of all of the pregnancies that did not end with one of us holding and loving on this child, this one was the hardest. We had found out in the beginning of October of 2017. And for the first time in a long time, we really believed that this was it. We'd been working through recovery. We had been trying to do things the right way. And we felt like maybe God was ready to finally bless us with another child. Those first couple of weeks went really good. There was hope. But on Halloween, my wife and our 4-year-old went to the doctor's appointment, something that she rarely had him go. Our doctor was really not super nice. She basically bluntly said that there's no heartbeat. I still remember getting that phone call and knowing that there was nothing that we could do to fix it. That following week, I was about to start my new career at the post office. Because of how far we were medically, we had to schedule a DNC. That was scheduled for the day that I would end the training down in Salt Lake. That DNC is a tough thing, and it's so sad that so many people use that and abuse it. And it's sad to watch families go through that year after year. I started at the post office. The position was called CCA, which is a non-career employee, which basically means that you work a lot, sometimes more than you think you can handle. But in a very strange way, it helped me so much. Because I didn't have time to fall back into my addiction. I didn't have time to just sit there. Work kept moving. Obviously, it helped us financially. But most importantly, I was able to stay sober. And then in December of the next year, my wife's grandma passed away. It was unexpected. It hit really hard. She had meant a lot to me. What we didn't know and understand at that time, we would later name our daughter after her. In January of 2019, we became missionaries for the addiction recovery program. At that point, we thought, well, we're probably just going to have the one kid, and so why not serve? And we really wanted to give back. It was definitely a unique situation because we were the only ones in our 20s. All of these couples were close to retirement or retired. And so it was probably nice to see young pups in there trying their best to figure this thing out. The next month in February, we found out that we were pregnant again. This was our 6th pregnancy. And up to that point, we had one kid to show for it. We were excited. Hope started to build again. But then a few short weeks later, we miscarried. I'm going to be honest with you, though. I was very upset. I remember sitting in the car and just almost having a screaming match with myself, like some temper tantrum. But asking God, like, if we're doing everything right, what exactly do you still have in store for us? I don't know what else you're looking to try to challenge us with, but this isn't it. And just around that time, we found out that 2 more babies were going to be coming into our family. So the plan was within a 3-month span, we were going to have 3 newborn babies. And it was exciting. That one definitely made it harder. But a couple of days later, my mom told me something that has stuck with me. She said that my dad had told her that this baby was not ready to come here. That the spirit was not going to be housed in a body that would be able to live up to the capacity that it needed to do. Now, This is just my belief, but I still believe after decades that my dad talks to me. There's several things that have happened through dreams or even just thoughts that feel like they're definitely coming from him. They help and guide me in so many different ways. I don't think I'm unique in that way. I think there's a lot of people that have those family members watch over and take care of them. But knowing what I know now, she was 100% right. Because the spirit that was going to come to that body is full of a lot of energy. And 6 years later, I see that. But not long after that, in March, I was involved in a car accident. That could have been very serious. We both walked away without any major injuries. Earlier that day, I had spoke with my wife about needing to get our finances in a better order. And what I found is funny is that sometimes when you pray for something, God answers it, and most of the time it's never the way that I expected him to. But it's always the way that it needed to be. That car cost us a lot of money and was very difficult for us to get out of. It definitely was a blessing that it happened the way that it did, even if it meant that we were significantly downgrading our vehicles. But what I didn't know from that day is that my wife actually took a pregnancy test and found out that we were pregnant again. So when she came to pick me up from the accident, she had already known that. But she felt like it wasn't the right moment. So she waited a couple of days and then she told me. And we were pregnant for the 7th time. This pregnancy was different though. It wasn't easier, but it was different. It gave me a wide range of different emotions: hope, fear, anxiety. Every time I saw her name on the caller ID, I braced myself for bad news. But then at the same time, I had a lot of peace. We had started treatments, weekly shots, and a lot more doctor appointments. With that, a lot of prayers than I've ever offered before. In June, we did the gender reveal. We are so blessed to have so many people in our lives. We made it so that only one person knew what the gender was so they could get all of the stuff for it. It's so cool to look back on videos and see the reaction of all of the people that were there. I remember lighting off the smoke, and for a moment, nothing happened. And then all of a sudden, pink smoke. We're having a girl, and we are so excited. As those months went on, we still had moments of fear, but we also had a lot of moments of peace. One day at a time, one step at a time, one prayer at a time. That November, we scheduled the eviction notice because she was not in any hurry to come out. She waited all the way up until eviction day. The night before, though, we barely slept. And I don't think it's because we felt like something was going to happen, but because for 6.5 years, it was me and my wife and our son. I didn't know how I could have more love for another kid. But when she arrived, everything changed. The next day, we welcomed our baby girl into this life. And in that moment, I realized your heart, it doesn't divide when you have more kids. It expands. She became one of the greatest blessings in my life. And in a way we didn't fully understand at the time, she carried a piece of both of our grandmas with her. A couple of months later, the great pandemic. When the pandemic first started, my grandma passed away. That was a really painful time for me. She was one that if she had your phone number, you were getting a phone call every single day. Sometimes every hour or every half hour. But growing up, I was always known as the golden grandchild. That's a reference that my dad had made a bajillion times. He'd use and abuse that saying way too much. And I know that my grandma loved me a lot. But I definitely miss those phone calls. Phone seems very quiet nowadays. In the middle of the pandemic, though, I became a full-time employee at the post office, and then very shortly later, we moved into our first house. I loved it. I loved all the work we were able to do for it, and being able to putz around. We were able to do some really cool memories. I got a nice deck put on the back and had the backyard looking really good. It made it something that we could be proud of. But in October of that year, one night, my wife comes in and says, I think it's time to have another kid. And I was like, I almost started laughing because I was like, I felt the same thing for a long time. So it was weird that we both felt that. So what we did is we prayed. And the cool thing about this experience was when we prayed, we were very specific. We were very specific with God exactly what we were going to do. We told him look, if this is supposed to happen, we will not wait another 6.5 years. We will not go through the same trials and heartache that we want. We know we're a very capable family to bring another child here and to give them the best life that we possibly can do. So if your plans for us to have more kids, yeah, we're all for it, but we're not waiting this timeline. A couple weeks later, we got pregnant. Surprisingly, for like 6 weeks, we did not tell anybody about it, which was like a new record for us. Christmas morning, we finally revealed to our moms and the rest of our family that. One thing I gotta hand to our moms is every single one of the pregnancies, they were so elated. They were so excited. I love going back and watching those videos. In August of 2021, we finally welcomed our last child. This one, we had 3 completely different births, 3 different pregnancies. It had to have been the longest 36 hours of my life. My wife, though, was an absolute machine. That was one of the many moments that I realized this is one tough chick. We had to get a C-section, which never gonna have that happen, but it looked pretty painful. And within 36 hours, she was ready to go home. And I think the doctors are like, this chick is a maniac, but we did. We went home, and that was an incredible experience to see our family complete. And a very short time after that, I became a supervisor at the post office. Life kept moving forward. We were finding our rhythm. We were finding balance, growth, all of that stuff. But just when things seemed like they were going really, really good, we felt something else was coming. For a long time, we had felt a pull to move to Arizona. During a cornhole tournament that supports ALS families, it felt very clear. It was time to move. And things just started to happen from there. A very short time later, I had a job offer. Within 3 weeks, I moved down. The following month, my family moved down. We thought we were stepping into a really good opportunity. But what we didn't realize was this next season was about to push us to limits we had never expected. Depression, anxiety, and the brink of disaster. Guess what? That's where the story continues next time on Living with Purpose. Thank you for listening to Living with Purpose. If anything in this episode resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share so that this message can reach those who need it. Just remember, no matter what you're going through, you're not alone. And until next time, keep living with purpose.
Gone South has been a podcast about crime in the American South. But for our new season, we're widening the lens. Follow and listen to Gone South Season 5, wherever you get your shows.